Hello, my name is Lisa Shea, and this video is part of my series on horror authors, horror books, horror short stories, and all things horror. So today we're looking at the collection of 13 stories, The Abyss Within, 13 Chilling Tales to Keep You Up at Night, which is published by Smash Bear Publishing. And story number 12 happens to be called The Munchies by Rebecca Rowland. And it turns out that Rebecca Rowland is from Massachusetts, which is where I'm from. So she is in my local neighborhood, and like me, she likes to write about stories that have a connection to places that she's been. So this particular story takes place in this area, which is great. I love having all those kinds of details brought to life. And it's not that the story is about a New England setting, but she works all sorts of little details into it to really bring that kind of environment to life for you. So this story involves a young man who starts out by saying, don't ever have children. I know you think you want them. All of your friends are doing it, so why don't you? And it goes on to talk about how he met the girl of his dreams in college and how they got married and get together, and then they start talking about having children, and the story ensues about what happens when they are having this discussion and go forward with their plans. I don't generally like to give away all the details and twists in the story because I think that would ruin a lot of the enjoyment for people reading it the first time through, but I think this may be one of those stories that I go back and do a separate video that has spoilers in it so that I could talk it after the fact for people who have read the story and about the details in it that I enjoy so much about it. So most of the stories in this collection are gore-free. I will caveat that this one in particular does have some gore involved in it, so if you're a kind of person that has issues with that, then you should know up front. I generally do not enjoy gore, but I thought that it was very well handled here and very integral. It wasn't a splatterfest type of thing where there's gore to try to overload the senses and give just a general sense of mayhem. The details that are put in here are there for a reason, and they are necessary for the way that the story is unfolding to give you a sense of what's actually happening to these two people. So I think that in part helps me enjoy it more as a part of the story. But there's all sorts of little details in here, the way tofu hot dogs taste, the way that they dream about having a picket fence kind of house, the way they think about going to movie theaters and passing boxes of Junior Mints up and down the row. Just all these little details are woven into here. So I love that kind of story where it really brings the environment to life and makes you feel like you are right there in the moment with these people doing these things. So I like the two characters. There's a clear sense of what the characters are like and why they have different motivations and what their conflict is and how they try to resolve it. And the back and forth between them is part of what makes this story so enjoyable. The environment in general, the New England environment, like I said, I like it very much, but that's not a key part of what the story is about. The story is really about these two characters and their relationship with each other and the things that they are going through and how they're going to deal with it. Are they going to be able to move forward, or are they going to find some way to get through the challenges that they're facing? The author is in a number of different compilations, anthologies. Her site is, wait, I've lost it, Rowland Books, so ROWLAND books.com. And she's got a number of entries in here about the different kinds of things that she's written. So she has books that she's edited, she has other books that she's a part of. So you can find her in a variety of different places. I enjoy her writing style very much, so it's well worth it to track her down in other places and look for them. But I would, of course, read The Abyss Within, which is this one here that we are talking about, and this particular piece is a good piece. Just as a caveat, it's not quite psychological horror as much as there is gritty details, we'll say, in here, and you have to be comfortable with being able to hear those sorts of things. So, very well done. It makes sense in the world that she has created that these kinds of things are happening, so everything is a perfectly coherent story that I enjoyed immensely. And I just appreciated the writing style in general with the way that she put things together. And what did I say? I think this is like 16 pages. 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. 24 pages long. So where some of the stories in this collection are very short and don't have a lot of character development because they just dive right to the point, this one, with the length of it, you're able to build the characters, give them a backstory and a history, see how they evolve over time, and see how they get to the point where they are at when the main crisis starts to happen. So well recommended. Author again is Rebecca Rowland, Rowland. This story is The Munchies, and the story is part of the collection The Abyss Within, 13 Chilling Tales to Keep You Up at Night, which is available in ebook form. And it supports battered women's shelters, so a very good cause, very worthy to read. So let me know if you have any questions about this story. Let me know if I should do the spoiler version where I can really get into the details of it and what I appreciate about it. And let me know if there are other stories that I should read and take a look at. So thank you very much and have a great afternoon.